Woman with ovarian cyst the size of 7 newborn babies thought she was just fat. A woman who faced questions about when she was due thought that she was just fat, when in reality, she was carrying a 26-kilogram ovarian cyst. Keely Favell, age 28, started gaining weight back in 2014, her tummy slowly getting bigger and bigger. At first, she put it down to standard weight gain, then suspected pregnancy, but after multiple home tests, it was ruled out. When she went to the doctor, her GP was convinced she was about to give birth to a child, so he gave her an ultrasound, and that's when Keely discovered she was carrying a cyst the size of 7 newborn babies. Surgery was needed. I've always been chunky, but over the course of a couple years, I gradually got this tummy, said Keely. I couldn't understand it. I was exercising and eating healthily, but it was slowly getting bigger and bigger. It crept up so slowly that I didn't know anything was wrong. I just thought I was putting on timber. She faced so much questioning about when she was due that she just played along. I've been with my partner Jamie Gibbons for 10 years, and we did wonder a few times if I was pregnant, but we did home tests and they always ruled it out. In 2016, Keely first went to her GP after fainting at work, but her symptoms were dismissed as a side effect of acne tablets or a result of stress. My GP didn't even attempt to examine me. I was sat there with a big coat on, so I unzipped it, pointed to my belly and said, "Could it be anything to do with this?" Looking at me, anyone would have thought I was 9 months gone, but it wasn't the first time I'd been mistaken for an expectant mom. But my GP had the test results and should have known better. People had seen me wandering around, carrying this lump, and I'd been asked a few times when I was due. Keely faced so many questions about what people assumed was a pregnancy that she started to go along with the story, embarrassed to admit that, as she thought, she'd just put on weight. It was so embarrassing trying to explain that I was, or so I thought I was, just fat, she said. I'd go along with it to spare everyone the blushes. It wasn't until January last year that Keely finally went for an ultrasound, by which point her tummy had grown drastically. I was laying there with Jamie beside me as the radiologist moved the probe over my tummy, she remembers. I saw her eyes widen in horror, but the screen was just blank. The look on her face said it all. Something was wrong. And when she said she had to get a consultant, I started to panic. Jamie did his best to reassure me, but I felt paralyzed with fear. The consultant sent Keely for an emergency CAT scan, which found that her large tummy was due to a massive cyst surrounded by a 25-centimeter thick sac of fluid. The only option was surgery. Despite concerns from doctors that there may have been more than one cyst or that it could be attached to other organs. Until they opened me up, no one knew for sure what they'd find, said Keely, whose stomach swelled another 5 inches as she waited 4 weeks for the surgery. In March of last year, Keely underwent a 5-hour surgery to remove a giant cyst weighing 26 kilograms. That's the same weight as 7 newborn babies. Thankfully, the cyst turned out to be benign. It weighed as much as a 7 or 8-year-old child, says Keely. I remember still being groggy from the anesthetic as they wheeled me back to the ward, and excited hospital staff were shoving photos in front of me. I didn't really understand why until I came round properly and everyone was treating me like a minor celebrity. Then they explained how big the cyst was and showed me the pictures. I couldn't believe I'd been walking around for so long carrying this medical alien. It looked like a massive pile of ice cream, so I called it Mr. Whippy. Of course, that kind of dramatic surgery has left Keely with some scars. She has stretch marks you'd expect from a pregnancy, as well as a 30-centimeter scar from her sternum to her pelvis. The removal of the cyst also meant the loss of her right ovary. But the loss of that hefty weight has made Keely feel incredible.